Welcome to December 3rd, 2021 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and tonight's video replaces the written commentary portion of our nightly report. Hopefully it serves a nice change of pace as well as offers some insight as to how we set up our charts, what time frames and indicators we use. And as you can see, we try to keep it pretty simple. In terms of indicators, we obviously have price. We have two EMAs, the 10 and 20, and two SMAs, the 50 and the 200, a relative strength line with the relative strength versus the S&P 500, and then we have volume. In this video, we're going to run through a few broad market averages. Then we'll take a look at stocks that are showing relative strength, holding up above the 10 or 20-day moving average, while the broad market averages have been selling off below some even to the 200, but most to the 50-day moving average. First up is the Nasdaq Composite, which triggered a sell signal in our timing model on 11/26. Let's switch to a clean chart here. I think we'll have to see how the Nasdaq reacts tomorrow. How much of this wide range down day on Wednesday can it retrace? The 50% Fibbo levels around 15,530. The 62 is 15,600. Then we have this downtrend line, however you want to draw it here, possibly in play around 15,500 to 15,000. I'm sorry, around 15,550 to 15,600. At 15,580 is the declining 10, and 15,650 is the declining 20 EMA. It's a lot of numbers, but really, if you eyeball this area right in here, between the 10 and 20, that's where any rally should run into resistance. If the Nasdaq is to continue the trend of lower highs and lower lows, and you can see that on the hourly chart clearly here, still putting in lower highs on the hourly and lower lows. And on the S&P 500, we have this steep downtrend line. Price sliced through the 50 MA but reclaimed the 50 on Thursday. And again, if we look to the right here on the hourly chart, a series of lower highs and lower lows remains. And until the S&P can take out this prior swing high, we have to assume that the downtrend remains intact. And let's take a look at Qqq, the Nasdaq 100. It's a bit stronger than the other two indices and also has quite a bit of resistance here around the 394 area. So anywhere from 393 to 395, I'd say. If the Nasdaq doesn't just sell off on Friday, look for the price action to possibly push higher in the morning and then sell off, or possibly just push through this 95 area and hold, and possibly reclaim the 20 EMA. So with all major broad market averages trading below the 20-day EMA with a declining 10-day moving average catching up to price, we're not looking to establish new long positions here, as I think that's not something we want to do in the report. However, for those who are really active traders and can watch the market all day long, there could be some intraday opportunities depending on how things shake out. As for intermediate term trading, conditions are not yet stable enough to put money to work right now. So with IWP below the 50, which is our proxy for growth, Nasdaq Composite at the 50, just recovering the 50, the S&P recovering back above the 50, IWM below the 200. So, anything that's holding above the 50 is decent. Any stock that's above or holding around the 20-day EMA is showing a great deal of relative strength. And that's what we're focusing on right now. So let's take a look at a few stocks that are holding up better than the averages. There's AMD, just a monster mover from the last base. It's a bit extended in the short term, so a few weeks of chop around this 20-day moving average would be ideal. ZIM is forming a handle here, a cup with handle pattern. A break of this downtrend line within the next day or two could produce a low risk buy point for partial size. Slab continues to hold the 20-day EMA, holding above the high of the gap up day. Might just need a bit more time to chop around, but this is a strong chart. EMPH will be interesting because as it's pulling back from an explosive big volume gap up in late October with a decent amount of fall through to the upside. This is the first test of the 20 which failed, but we'll have to see if the price action can reclaim the 20-day EMA within the next day or two, as that would be fine. And if so, that could be potentially in play next week. Then there's Nvidia, which is extremely impressive, still above the 20-day EMA. We're looking for a undercut of the 20 as a potential buy entry. We'd like to see some sort of like undercut and then rally back above the 20. That would be ideal, but we'll just have to see. Nvidia showing a ton of strength and may not want to break this 308 area. Tesla has resistance at 1200. Is finding support around this 1050, 1060 area though. And one could look to play Tesla versus the swing low. You enter near Thursday's close looking for the price to hold up. Though it's probably best to do so with very minimal size. Keep size very small here. Roblox is pulled back to the 20. Pretty volatile price action though. Wide range weeks. As you can see on the right here, just 3 weeks in a row of a ton of volatility. Each week is 20% in width. Nothing to do right now, just monitoring the action. PSTG looks really good. It has yet to break out above the high of the gap up day, but it looks like it wants to defend the close of the gap up day and has support from the rising 8-day EMA. LI is another stock to monitor. Failed to break out to new highs, and it's not exactly in play right now given the recent volatility. But give it a few weeks of chop in this area, see if it can tighten up. Certainly one to watch here over the next few weeks. And the last chart of the night is MSFT. And not that we're looking to go long, we're just monitoring the price action here. This is a few days below the 20-day EMA, so unless the price is able to reverse higher on Friday or possibly the latest Monday, it looks as if the price could be vulnerable to a pullback to at least the 50 MA or around 320. Which is where the 10-week moving average is. All right, so that's a wrap for tonight's video. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.